Today's topic takes us into the realm of the scandalous. That is, sex on ecstasy. Having sex under the influence of the drug ecstasy, aka MDMA. We say that ecstasy is the most euphoric and hedonistic thing that man has ever synthesized, created for himself, and obviously, sex we are hardwired to like. So it begs the question: is having sex while on ecstasy the best thing in the world? Just how good would it be? I mean, would people just spontaneously combust? Would it be that good? I mean, what's going to happen? Um, and so let's go into the good, the bad, and the anxious when it comes to this topic. Okay, so we'll start with the bad. There is none. There is nothing bad. It's all good and anxious. Um, okay, getting serious. So, the reality about the drug ecstasy is, it is, of all the things that it is the most effeminizing and emasculating thing out there. You could have the biggest, strongest, most dominant alpha male, give him a couple doses of ecstasy, and he is going to be rolling on the ground wanting to cuddle and talk about feelings. That's just what this drug does to people. Um, it, I mean, it's known as the cuddle drug. It makes everyone want to cuddle and talk about feelings. Um, and guys and girls. So like it's really we learned about all of these things that go into human attraction and sexual selection and everything. Women being attracted to strong, successful, confident men, and men seeing women as objects of beauty and aesthetic attraction and attraction to these various feminine traits and whatnot. And a lot of this stuff, sexual evolutionary theory and biology and whatnot, like it's uncomfortable truths, but like people, deep down, everyone knows that a lot of this stuff is applicable. But this stuff all goes out the window when you get a bunch of people taking ecstasy together. And in that way, like the archetype of the rave is this hedonistic break of real world biological and evolutionary drives and whatnot, and this communal desire of just free love and affection and sharing of emotion and everything, and lack of judgment. Again, it's just this all of that stuff about what people are classically attracted to goes out the window in these settings, and that's that freeness of knowing that you don't have to that you can, as a group, if everyone's on ecstasy, like all of these stresses that we go through and all these attraction games and everything that are always at play at some level, it's just all gone, and it's just this utopian society of people either listening to music or whatever it might be. Typically that's what the pretense is at a rave, at least. So, and that too just adds to the euphoria. And yeah, like everyone's just everyone's best friend under that kind of a situation, and just it's, as I said before, like I mean, obviously it's emasculating and whatnot, but it's its own thing. It's its own little alternate realm of human existence, being high on ecstasy. And so it kind of leads it into like, it's not, it's like I mean, I describe a lot of drugs as like a childlike state, but this is like a prepubescent state. And like right at that breaking point where like half the kids have gone through puberty and the other half haven't. So like half of them are really sexualized up and developing an adult libido, and the other half aren't. And it's like the ones that are can, in a sense, poison the community because they're acting lewd and whatnot. And it gets like that in these rave environments too, where like some people take ecstasy and their libidos go to a raging 100%, and then others, it's the farthest from that. And I think most people, it's like, it's a cuddle drug. It's a drug for kissing. It's a drug for massage. It's a drug for playing with water and all of that sensual stuff. It's a sensual drug, not a sexual drug. That's how I would say it. And it makes sensuality feel better than sexuality. So when someone would say, like, why would I want to have sex when we can just kiss? And, like, that makes sense when you're on ecstasy, because, like, yeah, you think, like, someone is like, oh, kissing, you hear it as, like, cheesy when people are like, oh, kissing is my favorite romantic activity. But, like, when you're on ecstasy, you understand that point. Like, it's a kissing and cuddle drug. I mean, I'll keep repeating that over and over and over. But what happens if you actually try and have sex on ecstasy? Well, the question that, a lot of men obviously have performance issues with ecstasy. That's not a big deal because that can be dealt with via, Viagra, Cialis, or short-acting testosterone even, or something. But what, where it gets really awkward though, and the anxiety comes in. Like, people talk about, like, ecstasy down the road, like, years later. It's like, do I have an increased anxiety level because, there's been these neurotoxic effects from abusing ecstasy? And I definitely have felt a increase in certain types of anxiety since binging on ecstasy for, taking hundreds and hundreds of ecstasy pills. But I don't feel like it's because my brain is, quote unquote, fried. I think it's because, again, when you're on ecstasy, you do embarrassing things because you're enabled to do them by the drug. So you get just tons and tons and tons of built up awkward memory trauma. And so when I think about, ecstasy and it gives me anxiety, it's because I automatically go to places where the drug has led me to do things that caused anxiety. And a lot of that is of a sexual nature because you do get, you get it. I mean, yeah, like, people who do get sexualized on ecstasy, like, it's a very dangerous thing that happens. It's a very, what's the word? It's a very volatile effect because, I mean, you get groups of people together on ecstasy. Like, I've taken a married woman back to my apartment before, just due to us being on ecstasy. And I remember, like, seeing her sitting on my bed with her ring on, and I was just like, look, I have to call you a cab right now. I cannot do this, because, like, as soon as you get out of that rave setting and the drugs start to wear off, you come back down. Like, I'm the kind of person, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, we'll just go back to, and we'll all as a group go back and we'll come down together and fall asleep and everything. I don't want to be around anyone when the ecstasy wears off. I hate that. I need to be by myself. That's something that I absolutely, that's kind of unrelated to the story about the married woman. But, again, like, another girl, like, I had a girl who I was just, like, platonically friends with who really wanted to try ecstasy and was begging me, like, I want to try ecstasy. So I gave her ecstasy, and within 5 minutes of the effects hitting her, she's like, we need to go have sex right now. It makes people make very impulsive decisions, that, obviously it can have serious consequences. And the other effect that it has on a lot of people is it throws the sense of monogamy out the window. And, which is, again, we can argue back and forth, like, do people feel monogamous because that's biological or sociological? Are humans actually monogamous? Nobody actually knows the answer to this question. But for most people, we kind of end up at a place where we are drawn toward monogamy and jealousy. And so you take ecstasy and, stuff happens. Like, I mean, I've had friends of mine, while we were all high on ecstasy, like, say, I want you to kiss my girlfriend. And then the next day it's, oh my goodness, you kissed my girlfriend. And, like, it's like ruined a friendship like that. That actually ruined a friendship of mine that way, by the dude not claiming to remember that while we were high on ecstasy, he told me to kiss his girlfriend. And, another time I was going to raves with an ex-girlfriend of mine, and like there were like creepy guys who had crushes on her that would like try and steal her away from me, and then like so I would hate it, during the week, but then you get on ecstasy and these guys come around and like I'm just wanting to be friends with them, and again like feminizing, emasculating behavior. Um, that yeah, it's like you come down and it's just like what? Um, and yeah, just I mean, I've heard about marriages being ruined by ecstasy just for these things. Like people get high and they get that swinger mentality, and there's no coming back from like one bad decision. And so you have to really plan these things out. Like there was another group that I hung out with for a little bit that like they weren't necessarily swingers, but most of them were in open relationships and and comfortable in open relationships, and they would all do ecstasy as a group together, and they basically like had a rule where like any new person that they invited to do ecstasy with them, they had to all obviously the ones of the opposite sex or whatever, had to agree that like if I'm willing to be sexually involved with this new person because that's where it's going to go. That's what the rules are for the community. It's a free love community. And like it was one of the guys was one of my best friends at the time, and like he's like, I don't mind if you have sex with my girlfriend while you're high on ecstasy. And it's very but then it's like anything, like any of these like swingers groups, it looks idealistic and everything and inviting to the outside, but then like there's insane jealousy and like people spending too much time together. There's just so many things that can undermine the effect of the group that stuff falls apart so quickly. And I even saw like there was so much infighting in that group that I knew. So you really like have to plan this stuff out, but then like who's gonna like you can't negotiate human desire. I mean that's basic, sexual attraction 101. You can't negotiate desire. And saying we're going to take ecstasy together and we need to make a decision before we take it. Is it okay if we have sex after we have? I feel like that's just like that's even more awkward. So there's no real way to do this in a way that that doesn't have the potential for things to go horribly wrong or become horribly awkward. And again, then like, I mean. But point blank though, does like ecstasy make sex feel better? It's hard to really say because the ecstasy feels so good that it's like the weight of the ecstasy versus the weight of the sex. Like, this is not, girls don't want to hear this. Girls you're dating don't want to hear this or whatever, but like ecstasy feels better than sex. It does. It's no comparison. So it's like, again, it's almost like doing things that amplify the ecstasy high, either smoking cigarettes or doing party poppers or massage or water or whatever, like is like almost more what you crave under the influence of ecstasy because you want something that amplifies that ecstasy high. And sex, like actual sex, doesn't actually amplify the ecstasy high. There are much better drugs out there for sex. We'll make another video on the best drugs for sex, I promise.